We have been talking about color ad nauseum at this point. We've talked about properties and harmonies and context and psychology. We looked at color in the studio and how we can apply it in a really literal way. And this is kind of the culmination now. We're going to get into color for our location shoot, which we'll start getting into how we're going to apply color harmonies and color theory to something that's a little bit more complex and a little bit more abstract than the stuff that we've covered thus far. And I know for me personally, when I first started getting into color theory, it was some combination of like really exciting and really terrifying. It opens up this world of possibilities. You have all of these great color combinations that you can use, which is awesome. And it's like, you know, you're kind of cracking the code, but at the same time, you have so many different directions you can go. And then you look at an image and you're like, well, wait a minute, that doesn't conform to any like color harmony that I've ever thought of or seen. So how am I going to make this work? So that's what we're going to get into in this segment. We're going to delve into some of these images and get into Photoshop and really talk about the how and the why and put it all together. So this is our first image that we shot, and my sister was always scared of monsters and I had to come in and look under her bed. So that's kind of the theme of this particular shot. And we wanted it to look like it was nighttime, but have a little bit of that glow of orange like the nightlight was on. So what we did was we stuck our light out the window and we gelled it so we get that nice cool cast to everything, that sort of moonlight vibe. And then we added a little bit of a kick to our younger sister's face to sort of emulate and mimic the orange glow of our lights. So it was a little bit of a complementary color scheme that I had in mind here. Again, we've got a couple different colors, but really the whole tone of the image is really that blue, which is also the color of the wall, by the way, so it works out pretty nicely. And then little pops of orange to contrast that, kind of the light and the darkness. This is just another frame from the same scene, so just kind of a different perspective here. Again, we've got the blue of that moonlight and then just a kick of that orange on her face as a nice contrast there. For our next shot, we moved outside and we've got this really neutral ground. Everything's kind of dead and brownish. And we wanted to add a little bit of color in here to really make our characters pop. So we've got a little bit of red in the leggings. She's got a green skirt on, so there's our complement there. And then our younger sister has this really bright, shocking pop of red in her jacket that really just kind of sets her off from everything else in the background. But otherwise, pretty neutral and this really great accent color. So our next scene that we shot were the girls in the kitchen. And color palette wise, we've got that green and the red that I wanted to play off of. We also have this nice glowing yellow lamp, which I thought had a nice glow to it. It's a nice touch, gave a little bit of visual interest, a little point for our eye to go to. And basically the concept here is that our younger sister is juggling eggs and she cracks one on her sister's head accidentally. So this is kind of the final product here. I really wanted to bring in that red in our older sister's dress to kind of tie into the red in the kitchen. And then I thought that the blue and the sort of purpley blue and the yellow in the lamp kind of played nicely off of each other. So that was kind of the idea with that. For this image in post, I might add a little bit more of that purple to play out the contrast of the yellow that's there. So we've got a complementary color scheme in there. Our next scene is our mom and our two sisters in bed braiding each other's hair. And this is a bit of a departure. I feel like the other images had a little bit more of an obvious color scheme. This one is a little bit more neutral. The walls are actually this light green, but it's really subtle. It's pretty neutral. The luminosity of the color is fairly high. So again, we're not seeing a ton of saturation there. And we can sort of counteract that with the really nice subtle pinks that the girls are wearing, pink being a lighter variation of red. So we have this kind of red-green complementary color scheme here, but it's really subtle between the walls and the girls. We also have it in a slightly more literal sense with some red accents in the blanket down here. And in the book over here, our bed frame is actually green, our lights are actually green. So that's kind of the color scheme that we're playing off in this particular image. This is the girls just kind of hanging out at home, doing their thing, whatever you do when you're living on a farm and maybe have a day to hang out inside by yourself. So we've got our younger sister front and center. She's been playing with some dominoes and some toys. Maybe she's wondering why no one's paying attention to her and she's looking slightly sad about it. And then we've got our older sister in the back being the good kid, being studious, reading a book. And then mom is kind of back tucked into the corner doing some needlework. So this image I really like because we've got a lot of layering to it. We've got some distance layering where our younger sister is up front, our middle sister is kind of at this middle plane, and then mom's in the back. So there's a dimensionality to it that I really like. And as far as colors go, we have this really beautiful blue on the walls. We've got a red chair, 2 red chairs actually, one in front and one for the older sister, and some red accents on the trim and in the back chair that mom's on here. And then this room, it's that same kind of greenish bedroom, but the way that we have it lit has it looking really nice and yellow. And we've also got some yellow tones in our desk, in the dress of our older sister, and in our duck up here. As far as lighting goes here, I just wanted to pop in a little bit of warmth on our young sister here and just give her a little bit more separation from the chair, throw a little light on her. So we stuck a CTO gelled beauty dish outside just to add a little bit of light on her so she's really popping out front and center. And here we've got our dining room scene. Again, our little girl is just causing mischief left and right, but she's cute as a button, so you can't really do anything about it. And this one, I really wanted that warm, wholesome family gathering vibe. We put a beauty dish outside the window again with another CTO gel to really just make it look like that really soft, beautiful afternoon light that's kind of lighting up the scene. It feels really warm. In addition to that, we've got our existing scheme within the kitchen. We've got our green cabinets, our red countertops. We've got some red in our tablecloth accents here, a red hutch. We've kept with this kind of neutral brownish beige color here that is matching our yellow tones that we brought in from that light. And our youngest is also wearing green, and mom's wearing a little bit of green and red too. So everything's kind of tied together with those green and red tones, and then just having an overall cast of this yellowish warmth. This was just kind of a bonus shot that we did at the end. I wanted to get an image of mom and the siblings together. So color-wise, we're looking at the blue of the wall behind her paired off of that orangey glow from the lamp. So there's a complementary pair right there. And then we've got the red of the couch over here and kind of green in the rug here and the green back here. So we've got another complementary pair there. And so again, these are kind of the colors that we're looking at for this particular image. So as far as an image that I think it's best to walk through and retouch, and one of the images that I'm most excited about and has a lot of really great potential for color is this particular image right here. I'm really loving the layering of it. I really like how we're using sort of a primary color scheme, but it's being applied in kind of different areas. And we have a little bit of each color in each one of those layers and those depths. So I think this is an image that ended up looking really nice. I'm really happy with how it turned out. And I think we can just bring it into Photoshop, take it to the next level, and make it really solid and just add that nice finishing touch.